It is Friday, March 14th, 2025. I'm Heath Lambert, and the biggest story of the week is uncertainty in the U.S. stock market.
Everyone is finding this a bit much. If you look at just the measure of uncertainty, this is just a particular measure. It's showing just how much people are talking about a particular issue. In this case, trade. And the higher this line is, the more uncertainty there is. So it's a big issue in newspapers. Have a look at this. This last time around, it went up to a really high peak under Donald Trump in his first term in office. Where are we now? Look at this line. So a lot of uncertainty.
$4 trillion is a truly unfathomable number to most normal people. But by the time the stock market closed on Monday, March the 10th, that is how much money the Reuters news service was saying the American economy had lost since February 19th. On that February day, the S&P 500 was at an all-time high. By the beginning of this week, it had dropped 8.6% for a multi-trillion-dollar loss. The big story here is not market fluctuation. The markets are in a constant state of change. The story this week is uncertainty. That is the word you will have encountered literally hundreds of times this week if you are following the news. To understand the market uncertainty, you need to understand the way people work and the way the stock market works. For our purposes this week, the important fact about the way people work is that they not only want money, they really do need it. You don't just need money to get wealthy and buy expensive things. You need money to buy the necessities of life. Without money, you can't put gas in your car, have a place to live, get food to eat, or give to your church. People need money, and it is no slight against anyone to say that most try to get as much as they can. That gets to how the stock market works. In case you don't know, the stock market is where companies sell portions of ownership in their businesses called stocks. When a company sells stock in their business, it benefits the company and the stockholder. The company gets money from the sale of their stock to expand their business and grow it. The benefits to the stockholder are increased wealth as the company grows and gets more profitable. All this means that when the stock market is high or up, companies are growing and the people who own them are getting richer. When stocks are low or down, companies are shrinking and stockholders are losing money. Because people want to gain as much money as possible, they like to make decisions about investments when there is a maximum of certainty. With certainty, stability, or predictability, companies are able to make careful and strategic decisions about their business planning and are able to communicate those plans to current and potential stockholders. When people have confidence in these plans, they invest more of their money in the hope that they'll get a large return on their investment. When this all works, stockholders invest their money, the company grows, and the wealth of everyone involved expands. The market is up. But in seasons of uncertainty, companies are not able to make responsible and strategic decisions, which spooks stockholders who don't want to invest money they might lose. Stockholders protect their money by refusing to buy stocks or selling the stocks they already have. Then the company experiences a loss in resources, returns on investment drop, wealth decreases, and the market is down. This week has been one of those times when the market is down, and distressingly so. A number of reasons for this exist. Many economists have said that last month's record high was not realistic and gave a false impression of how the market was really doing. It was, they say, bound to come down. Others have said there are growing problems in the American economy, problems like inflation that combine with the stock market to indicate increasing trouble coming in the American economy. But by far, the most common explanation has to do with President Trump's talk on tariffs. Tariffs are taxes on goods that come to the United States from other countries, and for weeks now, Trump has been talking about increasing those taxes to combat drug smuggling in America and to make internal trade more fair. The wisdom of this policy is something we can get to in future episodes of The Biggest Story. But a massive part of the uncertainty in the stock market this week is not the tariffs, but the fact that tariff policy is changing on a daily basis. Communication about those tariffs has been unpredictable, and that makes planning difficult for American companies. This environment of uncertainty is causing the stock market to register extreme displeasure. Now, most Christians are in the position of merely watching this unfold. Some will own businesses or have jobs that require them to make decisions in light of changing tariffs. Others will have their retirement accounts invested in the stock market, but most Christians will be downstream from international tariff policy and the fluctuations in the market driven by this kind of uncertainty. So how should we think about this? 3 principles can help us process the uncertainty that is the biggest story of the week. First, wealth is wonderful and important. This is necessary for Christians who say they don't care about the stock market and wonder why Christians would ever talk about this as the biggest story of the week. It's also important for Christians who think there's something ungodly or unholy about wealth and money. Of course, 1 Timothy chapter 6, verse 10 warns us that the love of money is the root of all evil, but wealth, money, and resources are a blessing. Proverbs chapter 10, verse 22 says, "The blessing of the Lord makes rich, and he adds no sorrow with it." One of God's great blessings to his people is the wealth that is needed to fund every aspect of our life. That means we have to take it seriously when stock market uncertainty leads to a loss of such significant amounts of wealth. When the stock market is down, as it has been this week, that represents lost benefits and lost jobs. It represents life savings, college funds, and the retirement plans of senior citizens. Those numbers represent real pain in the life of real people who have shed real tears over their lost wealth this week. Christians take that very seriously. Second, in the face of uncertainty, Christians think carefully about the importance of wealth, but will also want to stay calm. In 2 Timothy 4:5, the Bible commands, "Always be sober-minded." Christians are supposed to be defined by an attitude of calm care at all times. Our culture ought to be able to tell the difference between the way unbelievers respond to uncertainty in the market and the way Christians do. Anyone will tell you that it takes determination to stay invested in the stock market when times are volatile. You can't lose your cool during seasons of uncertainty because over time, the stock market expands and wealth grows. That is a crucial fact that'll help you stay sober-minded in a time of uncertainty. But there is a more important fact. It doesn't have to do with the historical rate of return on investment, but is infinitely more important and wonderful. That gets to the third point. In 1 Timothy chapter 6, verse 17, the Apostle Paul says, "As for the rich in this present age, charge them not to be haughty, nor to set their hopes on the uncertainty of riches, but on God, who richly provides us with everything to enjoy." I just said that the Bible teaches that wealth is a wonderful thing. The Bible also teaches it's not the best thing. Wealth cannot carry the weight of your future hope. If you have money in the stock market, a period of uncertainty is enough to make you sweat about the future. But the Bible says that your hopes for the future can't be founded on the uncertainty of riches. The week's headlines of uncertainty are declaring as news something that is a very old truth in the Bible. Riches have always been uncertain, and they always will be. There could never be any guarantees about what is going to happen with our worldly wealth. That is why Christians trust God as the one who richly provides us everything to enjoy, and not the stock market. This week, the big news is uncertainty in the stock market. The season of uncertainty will fade away just as surely as another season of uncertainty will eventually take its place. But there will never be uncertainty with God. He's the same yesterday, today, and forever. He owns all the wealth there is. He loves his people, and he will give them every good gift and every perfect gift. In a week of uncertainty, that reality is changelessly true, and it always will be. That is the uncertainty in the U.S. stock market. It's the biggest story of the week. Join me next Friday for Christian analysis of the next big story.